I could honestly use one more tractor. Oh boy. I gotta put this all back on later. I'm just going to put that through there instead of doing what I usually do, which is lay it down somewhere and then I can't find it. This heavy hitch works great for what I bought it for. Which is basically for the garden, as the cultivators I have, and I've got a video on those, and I've got this trash thing that I know sounds lazy, but I will show you how it works. And my driveway is kind of long, and so when it gets all slushy and rough in the wintertime, this will make my life simple, because trying to drag the trash cans over the rough, frozen slush won't be fun. And I can do it now, but not in like January. The trick is to get these out without squishing your fingers. These are 42 pounds a piece. The tires are loaded, but with a little tractor like this, it's great to have the tires loaded, and I would definitely not recommend that you get tires not loaded with a loader on it, loaded with a loader. But they're just not. There's not enough. There's not enough way to get enough ballast in those tires to work for every application that you're gonna have, like picking up round bales or something. So my next life goal for tractors is to get a small one, like a subcompact something or other, with a cab on it that I can use in the wintertime and not freeze. So I gotta put all this junk back on in a little bit. Preheat. This one preheats faster than the other one. The John Deere has direct injection, so you don't have to, but these have indirect. I need this. You have to grease these before you hook it on, otherwise you can't get to it. I grease the shaft that goes in there too. And these only fit on one way. There's like a bell. There's a fat line and the rest are kind of round. You have to make that with this. So this goes in like that, and then it slides in, and then you gotta take this off, hook on. So it's kind of a thing. These are basically a king cutter. They're branded Mahindra, but like Frontier, they don't make their own stuff. So I keep these kind of loose because usually you got to move this, and there's not quick hitch pins on this, so you got to be careful because invariably what will happen is one side will pop out, and it's more prevalent when you're bush hogging or something, and tilling too if you're hitting stuff, which I try not to. They really want to be out here in this field. There's nothing left to eat out here, and I'll talk about this in a minute when it's not so loud, but I basically have them off the fields for the winter time because they're just going to come out here and trash it when it gets wet. There's nothing left to eat, so they're confined to an area up here behind the barn where I call it a sacrifice area, and it doesn't really matter. So at some point in the summer, I'll lime it and take them off it for a couple weeks, 3 weeks or whatever, and it kind of comes back a little bit. But this area right here is just a loafing area primarily, and there's not a lot of feed up there typically. But that's where they go for the winter, so they don't make a mess of all this. And I ran out of fields maybe a week or two ago, way down back because of hunting season. I don't want to put them out there. So you're supposed to ask me to use my land to hunt, but I'm not taking chances. Not everybody's that nice. So these two stick through, and as long as I'm careful, I probably will be okay. But we'll keep an eye on it. And this only has one spot to lock it. I don't want to leave this out all winter anyway. And I've already serviced this year. It's a little easier to connect to this Mahindra than the John Deere because I can spin the shaft if I need to. And see, it telescopes. And then I just turn the shaft until I find the right spot. And you push this button and you slide it. There's not a lot of room on these little tractors. You want just be careful where you put your hands. That'll pop again when it's in. Like that. You see that? So we're good to go. We'll latch that, and we'll give this a TRY. Today's the last nice day. Then it's going to get real cold. Way below freezing, like 19 degrees or something. So it's my last chance to get a couple things done. I don't quite go at 540, but pretty close. I have this set really low or shallow. I don't need to detail it right now. I'll do that in the spring when I get ready to plant. I just want to turn the top under. I said, this works fine. Wheeling them this time of year, but when the driveway is all slushy and then it freezes, it's a long ways down there and back. I don't have time to do a full service on this tractor because it's going to be dark in an hour or less. The antifreeze is low. And don't see a drip. There was a little bit of a drip when I looked at it the other day, but I can't find a leak. I thought maybe the water pump was leaking or something, but I haven't seen anything. And there was a couple times I used it, and one of these pulleys seized for a minute, and then the tractor started getting hot. So I don't know if it's the water pump pulley, which I'm guessing that's probably what it is, because the generator is fine and the fan is turning. So I may need to take this thing apart and change the water pump. That doesn't look like a fun job. A lot of people do it, but it's dangerous as heck. These tractors standing still or standing beside it. But the problem is if there's no safeties on this, so if you left it in the air or something didn't happen right, you'll get squished. We're better off just to take the long way home. Super Tramps on. didn't finish my work yesterday because it got too dark and my batteries are going dead, so here we are. I think it's supposed to snow or something. I can tell you it's a lot colder than it was yesterday. Do a couple things, and I got, I got 2 things, maybe 1. Start out with the sheep. See how they're doing. It's forage extender. It's mostly alfalfa. I got to give these 2 a little bit of selenium. The hay up here is deficient in selenium, and if you don't make sure they get enough, you could get. There's a problem with lambs where their legs get crooked and they can't stand up, and it gets worse, and there's really no cure for it. So I usually give them some selenium before they lay them out, and then I give the lambs a little bit. You got to be careful because you can overdose them on it, so you got to really pay attention to how much you're giving them. But I've had that one time. I think it's crooked lamb disease or something like that. But anyway, they die, and it's sad. So you can fix it. It's preventable. Let's see. You buy it's $1 a bag or something like that. I closed this up the other day because I have the dog in here and she jumps up and she scares them. Come on, girls. This is a timer, and it's kind of old, so I have to really pay attention to it because it looks like it's fast. And if you don't check it every day, next thing you know, you'll be off a lot, and then the lights don't come on when they're supposed to. And I have the light come on around 4 in the morning, and it goes off around 4 in the afternoon, and it's a daylight bulb, or a bulb as some people call them. It keeps them from slowing down too much on their egg laying. With the change in temperatures and the shorter days, it messes them up. So even though these are new chickens and they haven't molted yet, they kind of got a little screwed up, but I think they'll come back into it. So it's really important if you're going to have a light. I make it come on in the morning so it wakes them up, and then it goes off in the afternoon while it's still light, because I don't want the light to go out and they're all looking for a place to go roost. So I usually have it work that way. What's up, guys? Go back where you came from. Come on. Get in there. I don't care that he gets out. He puts himself back in. It's just, now I gotta keep the door closed here because he'll come in and want to visit these guys and take that second crop. And he doesn't need that. He gets the regular hay. I go into Snoopy's doghouse here for a second. I need this. I did get around to cleaning this up quite a bit since the last time you saw it. Valve, that'll work. I even organized all my plumbing stuff and my electrical stuff. One thing about having a farm is, or an old house, or I guess any house, is keeping a supply of stuff that I always need. It seems like plumbing in old houses pretty common thing that I need to have. So what I do is this PEX is going to the hydrant, and it goes all the way back. To all the water is. But I got one over there, so when I blow it out in the wintertime, even though I shut that off, the water is trapped in here, and then it freezes. So I gotta shut that off. I didn't think I needed a valve here, but apparently I do. So we're gonna put one of them in real quick. Do that, and let's see, like this. The way these are, this is just a barrel connector, but it's got these ribs on it, so you want to kind of, I try to get it in the middle, so the middle ring, and that seems to work pretty well. Occasionally you have a problem, but making a square cut is pretty important too, otherwise you get something like that and then you can't crimp it right. You're doing. There's some different kind of crimps too. There's 2 or 3 different kinds. There's some bands. These seem to be the cheapest ones. It's just got this little thing on it, and the crimpers squish it and it slides all inside like a regular clamp. Tightens it up, and then to take it off, you can usually just take a pair of slip joint pliers or something and grab it and turn it, and it'll snap off. And so your dosage in newborn 2 grams and adult 4 grams. So I'm gonna give her 4 grams. I'm gonna give the one 4 grams. Then when the baby's born, I give them each 2. So this is selenium, vitamin E, and we give it to the 2 black ones. So there's a ram in here, and I haven't had troubles with him yet, but I don't turn my back on him. And he's scheduled to go to freezer camp in a couple weeks. But if it looks like they're gonna be close, I'll put him back out. Right, buddy? You just want to be careful of him, because especially they're protective of the girls. So I'll let him know that I'm here and he's okay. But usually about 2 years old with rams is when they start really turning into big jerks. He's not quite a year old, so he's ready to go. But he did his work, and now it's time for him to go in the freezer. Right, bud? People want to know sometimes, is it hard to do this with your animals? And it can be. Sometimes you get attached to them, like Luna. We've had her for 6 or 7 years probably now, and so she's pretty much a barnyard fixture, and it's okay. I'll be sad if something happens to her. And Henry, his mother died giving birth to him, so it'd be things like that. But generally, a lot of the animals, when you get them, you know what their purpose is and where they're gonna go. So I just give them a good life while they're here and try to take good care of them, and then they go. So 4 grams, put me about there. Luna, here first. She's not super friendly, but she's better when I got her inside for some reason. It's like she knows, but she's still not. I wouldn't say she's friendly. Because the ram's in here for something else, and I don't want him to get too protective. I don't feel like he needs to be. I feel like something's threatening his girls. And Clara, I didn't breed her last year, but I did this year. So she's pushing 2, maybe. She might be 2, but she's definitely scared. You're all right. So like I said, you don't want to wind them up. You don't want to get in between the ram and them. You're all right. And then you gotta hold them, and there you go. I know you don't like it too much. It's not the best tasting stuff, probably. Get this on a quick disconnect, and I'll put one of these so you can feel it's already crinkly. I may have to take this off, because I think if it freezes up, it's not going to work right anymore. So Such is life. I can see the ice in there. And screw it up and then it doesn't work. So, best laid plans of mice and men. Didn't think of that. There's ice in here. So I'm pretty much at the point where I'm gonna have to blow the lines out at night. So these are my turkeys from this year. That one feels pretty good. About 15 pounds. That's good turkey. Keep the cow warming up. I love heated seats. First car I think I've ever had with heated seats in it. And it's nice in the winter. Wish it had remote start, but I guess beggars can't be choosers.
All you big and burly men who roll the trucks along, better listen, you'll be thankful when you hear my song. You have really got it made if you're hauling goods any place on earth but those Haynesville woods. It's a stretch of road up north in Maine that's never ever ever seen a smile. If they buried all the truckers lost in them woods, there'd be a tombstone every mile. Count 'em off. There'd be a tombstone every mile. When you're loaded with potatoes and you're headed down, you gotta drive the woods to get to Boston town. When it's winter up in Maine, better check it over twice. That Haynesville road is just a ribbon of ice. It's a stretch of road up north in Maine that's never ever ever seen a smile. If they buried all the truckers lost in them woods, there'd be a tombstone every mile. Count 'em off. There'd be a tombstone every mile. When you're talking to a trucker that's been hauling goods down that stretch of road in Maine they call the Haynesville woods, he'll tell you that dying and going down below won't be half as bad as driving on that road of ice and snow. It's a stretch of road up north in Maine that's never ever ever seen a smile. If they buried all the truckers lost in them woods, there'd be a tombstone every mile. Count 'em off. There'd be a tombstone every mile.
Temperature's pretty cold and explosive. I had planned on using quick connects, but I just proved that's not going to work. So what I do is I just unhook the hose, put this on, turn the compressor on, open the valve at the end, and it'll blow all the water out, and then it's good for next time. No frozen pipes, and it works almost flawlessly, I would say, unless you get real cold, like 10, 15 below. Then the air doesn't quite take it all out, but it gets out most of it, so it doesn't work that time. But most of the winter, and it works great, so not to lug buckets. But anyway, I gotta go, and I hope you have a good Thanksgiving, and stay tuned because there's a lot of train videos coming out. I don't know if I can get 30, but I'm trying real hard. So I'll talk to you next time, and thanks for watching.